Covering news where you live. This is 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. Now, today marks Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a national holiday recognized for more than 30 years now. This holiday was first recognized, though, back in 1983 when President Reagan signed it into law. The day was originally to recognize on Dr. King's birthday, January the 15th, but was moved to the third Monday in January after concerns it was too close to Christmas and New Year's. Dr. King would have been 94 years old. And it's a federal holiday, so before you head out, just remember some things may be closed today. Those include banks, government agencies, and many corporate offices. The Postal Service is also closed today, as are financial services like the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. Large retailers, though, like Walmart and Sam's Club, will remain open all day. All right, before we get to more news, let's get a check of that weather with meteorologist Zach Scott. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Joe, we are starting out with cloudy skies here across the area for our MLK Day. We're going to look for some sunshine to try to mix in as we get into the afternoon. So at least a chance for some late day sun, especially northwest Arkansas. We're going to try to get that down into the River Valley. Also been tracking some spotty sprinkles to kick off your Monday as well. That rain chance, that low end sprinkle chance will carry through the AM hours. By the afternoon, we are looking drier as a front is working in and it is bringing in that drier air. There's some of that late day sun trying to get in here. We'll head into the evening hours and overnight with some scattered clouds. Temperatures will be cooler as we go into Tuesday because of the drier air in place. That's going to allow for cooler temperatures as we go overnight. Drier air cools off more efficiently than the more moisture-rich air that we had in place this morning. That's why we started out with temperatures near 60 degrees. We've got those south winds bringing in that warmer air mass. They were strong Sunday. They're starting out the day strong today. We're going to look for winds to slowly decrease as we go through the afternoon into the evening. So again, lighter winds, more breaks in the clouds going into Tuesday morning is going to give us the cooler start. Highs today, upper 60s to 70s. Some late day sunshine, temperatures in the 30s and 40s going into Tuesday. Looking at our next rain chance coming in as we go into Wednesday. Some scattered shower chances will increase as we go through the morning into the afternoon. More rain and thunderstorms will likely develop to the east and southeast of us because they're going to have deeper moisture content in the atmosphere. We'll have enough moisture, enough lift, again, for some scattered showers, maybe a rumble thunderstorm or two. We'll have that forecast again as we go through the next couple of days. We'll keep our eyes on it. Joe?
All right, thanks so much, Zach. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders' latest executive order is aimed at officially ending many COVID-19 programs that started back in 2020. Now, the order officially repeals 5 programs that were still existing, including disbanding multiple COVID task forces and advisory boards focused on both the public health and economic impacts of the pandemic. Now, this executive order goes on to say that the governor is directing state officials to the state's response to other public health challenges, including addiction, cancer screenings, and mental health. Now, researchers are warning young women about taking contraceptive advice from social media influencers. Experts at the University of Delaware analyzed dozens of posts from influencers with as many as 2 million followers. They say they found inaccurate birth control advice could actually be putting young people at risk for unplanned pregnancies. And first responders from Prairie Grove are uniting with Community Blood Center of the Ozarks. That's today for the 3rd annual Boots and Badges Community Challenge Blood Drive. It'll be held at Prairie Grove, the high school, and the cafeteria. Those drive-through hours are from noon to 6 p.m. The Boots and Badges Blood Drive is a pretty fun event which gives an opportunity for the community to come together and to support local patients, while at the same time honoring first responders in the area for the work they do every day. Now, all donors will receive a special Boots and Badges t-shirt while supplies last, of course. Now, to help avoid wait times, appointments are strongly encouraged. You can schedule those on the CBCO website. And 6,000 veterans die by suicide every year, unfortunately. Preventing it has become one of the top priorities of the Biden-Harris administration and the VA. 5 News reporter Jose Carranza shows us the new care available for veterans, which starts this week.
Veteran suicides has been around as long as there's been veterans.
Ben Dykes is the Washington County Director of Veteran Services.
I personally have lost too many friends. I've lost 7 friends because of suicide.
The Navy veteran emphasizes that the battle doesn't always end on the battlefield.
First World War, there was a term called shell shock, and it's gradually grown and metastasized into what we now call PTSD.
In recent years, veteran suicide rates have dropped, after peaking in 2018 with about 127 veteran suicide deaths a day.
The VA has recognized that. 2020 was the second consecutive year where there was an actual decrease in the percentage of suicides, so that's huge.
Nearly 9 million veterans were not registered with the VA, meaning many were missing out on the mental and medical health services provided. But that all changes Tuesday.
Veterans, whether they're enrolled in VA healthcare or not enrolled, they can seek care at any VA or non-VA healthcare facility if they're in a suicidal crisis, and the VA is going to reimburse that. Also offer 30 days of inpatient treatment and pay for up to 90 days of outpatient treatment.
Dykes also points out that veterans don't have to visit the Little Rock or Fayetteville VA after Trump signed the VA Choice Act.
If you lived outside of 30 miles from a VA facility, then the VA would pay for that health care there.
All to help veterans with the struggles that come with service.
You know, that never leave a man behind is a great motto on the battlefield. But when you're off the battlefield, never leave your family behind.
Covering news where you live, Jose Carranza, 5 News.
Well, there are some steps veterans can take ahead of Tuesday. He says you can use ADD 214 to show you're a veteran at any healthcare facility. You can fill one out at any VA or community-based outpatient clinic. You can also get that information online through the National Archives. Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. Catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more.